Hello, everybody. My name's Jack. I'm 24 years old. I'm based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and this is Financial Audit.
And what do you do for a living in Las Vegas?
Okay. That's actually, believe it or not, that's a tough question for me to answer because I do many different things.
Yeah.
I host a podcast. That is the main thing that I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's your position in that podcast? So co-host?
Yeah, I'm a co-host of the Iced Coffee Hour podcast. If any of you guys watch, I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. As you can see, I'm repping the Iced Coffee Hour merch. It's unreleased. I don't know if we're going to release it. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I host a podcast with Stephan, another financial YouTuber.
And what do you think you bring in on a yearly basis?
Well, last year, I haven't done my taxes yet. So I know my accountant's asking me for those numbers, but I do not have them. The year before, I netted just under $300,000. It was like $295,000.
Ooh, okay, so you do well. How are you dealing with this tax situation? What are you doing? You've been doing a quarterly taxes. How's your company set up?
Man, should I even go on the record and say I haven't done quarterlies?
Okay.
I'm on the annual payment thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I do an estimated tax payment and then
Why?
Why? I don't know, man. That's not like that's Pandora's box right there for me, the whole tax situation. And I know if I open it, there's probably going to be so much stuff that I should do. And I guess I'm lazy.
Okay. You're clearly doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What are the income sources? So you said this is the podcast. How does that break down in terms of you bringing in $300,000?
$300,000 comes mostly from the podcast. Aside from that, I manage the Stephan Show. So basically I source a lot of the editing and oversee the channel.
Oh, I meant like on the podcast. Where does that revenue come from? Sorry.
I would say most of it comes from sponsors. And then aside from that, we have ad revenue, which contributes maybe 20% of it.
And this video is sponsored by you subscribing to the channel, which is awesome. Should they subscribe? They should subscribe.
I think they should probably subscribe and like the video and comment.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so sponsorships, and we got ad revenue, and then you have that other thing you said you manage?
Yeah, I manage the Stephan Show, so that contributes. That's probably my second largest income source. Last year, I started this other business that did okay for a few months, and that was like a sponsorship management business type thing. I haven't been doing it too much recently. No, it wasn't like one of those things where it like takes a bunch of time to get started and then it would be really hard to cancel it out. It's just something that's been, it's on the back burner, I should say. Yeah.
Okay. And was it successful in its brief iteration?
Yeah, I would say it was successful. But at the same time, it's really interesting. I'm in an odd situation where like a vast majority of my income's coming from the Iced Coffee Hour. And I'm also in a position where I can create other businesses that could be profitable from the get-go due to like different connections that I have and I guess like my current placement in my life, but it doesn't make sense even if it is profitable and even if it probably is actually worth my time because it takes up mental space. And for me, like I'm a firm believer, a very close friend of mine said this, you have all the time in the world to get anything you want done, right? Time is never actually like the thing that's causing you to not do what you want to do. It's just about the amount of energy that you have. Okay. And I find it extremely draining for me to be juggling a bunch of different tasks and businesses and whatnot, even if they are worth my time. So I can hone in on the one thing that's really worth it.
How many people report to you?
Report to me. Currently, I have one person reporting to me. Well, I guess like we have Alex for the Iced Coffee Hour, but he doesn't really report to me.
Oh, okay.
Just one person at the moment.
Well, how many hours would you say you work a week?
I work a week? That's a really tough question. Like, I know a lot of people like to meme on me because I outsource a lot of stuff. So, which is true. It definitely decreased a lot of my workload. As far as work goes, like in the weeds work where I'm like either like reviewing an edit or filming a sponsorship or filming the Iced Coffee Hour or like going through analytics and posting shorts and stuff like that. Maybe a few hours a day. Not very much. Yeah. But like,
what are you doing with the rest of your day?
The rest of my day?
Is it productive? Are you like happy doing this?
That was a lot of questions. Let me finish tackling the initial question first, which is like, I also do a bunch of other stuff that like I'm always thinking about work, which I know sounds kind of like a cop out, but I'm sure you probably understand that as well as,
I think in a creative space that
exactly like in a productive way where you're trying to like, okay, how do I solve this problem? Like fires always come up. I got to put them out. And, always that comment section, man, that occupies a lot of my time.
It does.
Yeah. So yeah. And then the other questions, can you ask them again?
Well, like, are you happy?
Am I happy with what work? Or
in the context of when I asked that question, only working a few hours a day, our boy. Oh, you met him, I think, didn't you? Dave.
Dave?
Good old Dave Ramsey.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
boy. Everyone
Yeah.
loves Dave.
Yeah.
He's like, people that aren't working all the time, they don't have driving. That's my southern accent.
Yeah.
Dave impression.
I don't know. I think like people can be happy from different things in their life. Like some people are so happy to be working all the time and some people aren't. I definitely think this last year, I put on the brakes a lot for my work.
Really?
The year before was a grind. Yeah. So why did I put the brakes on?
24 years old.
I know. I think I was pretty burnt out. Like I had been editing the Stephan Show for a super, super long time. And that was 3 videos a week. I wasn't editing the iced coffee hour. I think for a brief moment in time, I was editing the iced coffee hour between Alex and between the recent editor we have. And I was just like managing the mentorship group and I was like doing all of this stuff and I felt so exhausted all of the time and I was definitely unhappy. So I can say that for certain. This last year I put the brakes on a lot and I outsourced a lot of my positions, which opened up a lot of free time. But I also don't necessarily know if I'm like super happy doing that either. So it's kind of a conundrum I'm in right now and I'm trying to find the right balance of like how much work should I do? Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. $300,000 a year. It's not like you have to be grinding because that's obviously incredible. That's incredible if we're just looking at the average American, 48%.
Yeah.
Less than $30,000 a year for their salary.
Yeah.
You clearly do well, so it doesn't mean like you have to grind. I'm curious, but you're finding...
I do want to mention something about that. Is that a lot of people they'll see that number and they'll think, oh, that dude's like on top of the world right now.
Sure.
And I just want to like I know it's extremely easy to say this and probably hard for other people that aren't in my situation financially to see where I'm coming from this, but like I can guarantee you. It has not made me happier making more money. Like to a certain moment where I didn't have to worry about it, yes, but after $100,000, it really didn't.
I'm just more of the point, like I'm thinking like, damn, this dude's over here, 24 years old, and he's already cutting back, but it doesn't matter because you're not cutting back in a way that is negatively impacting your income source.
It's positively affecting my
income. So
it's
not a bad thing. Usually contacts on the show when people are just being, I don't want to say, you're not being lazy, but they're just not like,
I would say actively thinking about where their time is being spent and seeing how much of a return they're getting on that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to say this. If you leave this in, you're welcome to leave it in. You don't have to leave it in. Thank you so much. You're really generous. And I just want to say Caleb was gracious enough to fly me out here. He flew me out here. He bought me a night in an Airbnb and I am eternally grateful for you. I really like what you're doing. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for being here. And I got to meet your roommate too.
Yeah.
One of your roommates.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. First, I want to know, how would you describe your overall personal financial situation from your perspective?
My personal finance situation. So obviously I would say a stronger income. I don't have expensive taste. I just don't really care for things that like are expensive. I don't care for things in general. I'm not a materialistic person.
No?
Okay. So it's not very hard for me to not spend a bunch of money. The only things I would say that I definitely do spend too much money on would be food. And I don't really like gas stations. Like I don't shop around for the cheaper gas,
Okay. Yeah.
And then when I'm out shopping at Smith's, like, just because a ribeye steak isn't on sale, it's not going to prevent me from buying the ribeye.
Yeah. Do you budget?
No.
Do you feel you need to budget?
No.
Where are you at in your retirement savings, anything like that?
My retirement, so I have a Roth IRA that I've been maxing out. I have my own personal index funds and whatnot. I have an M1 account. I have a Robinhood account that just got decimated because I went on margin. Don't do that, guys. This is not financial advice, but we all know what this is. Try not to go in on margin. It's just generally not the greatest decision.
Why'd you do it?
Because I was greedy, man.
Okay.
Because I thought I didn't think I was a genius. I just thought that the strategies that I implemented that took me from $20,000 to $70,000 in the portfolio would take me from 70 to 150, and it would do it faster if I went in on a margin, which didn't happen.
What were you doing? Were you doing like swing trading, day trading?
Honestly, it wasn't as risky as you thought it would be. I was just buying it wasn't even hype stocks. A lot of it was just like Apple and Robinhood. I had a lot of Robinhood, a lot of Palantir, which are kind of hype stocks, but at the same time, they seemed actually like they were decent to most people. And I was also selling options, which actually for those of you that know options, it's actually not very risky.
Well, that definitely depends.
Covered calls.
Yeah, that definitely depends because I have personally worked in a sales position where I talked to a lot of people that were buying options and trading options in their daily lives, and the vast majority lost all of their money.
Yeah, I was not buying options.
Oh, okay. Oh,
no,
okay.
I was selling them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I
missed that. Yeah.
You see the risk that they're implementing by buying. The exact opposite.
Okay.
Goes for so.
we have a personal checking account. Personal checking account, not too much is happening here.
Right.
It's just mostly transfers back and forth. Where'd this go to, though? This was confusing because this went into a checking of some kind. You transferred $10,000 out and it went to a checking.
$10,000 into a checking. That is my private OnlyFans checking account.
Yeah.
Yeah. So only OnlyFans transactions in that account. No,
of course.
That looks like it was my business checking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So I really need to organize a lot of like my different accounts.
Yeah.
But if I get too big of a balance in my personal, it's like I don't even spend that much on personal stuff anyways. So I'll just transfer it out to my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, not budgeting. Not budgeting.
Here's the thing, man. It's like the amount of time that I would spend budgeting. It's the same thing. It's like that mental strain that I don't necessarily
You just get
need.
meant to do it for you.
But what am I doing wrong?
We will get into your
Okay,
spending,
cool.
but it's just funny because one of the people you're closest to in this world is a big finance YouTuber,
He doesn't budget.
and you don't budget. He doesn't budget.
No. Why would he budget? He spends less. Okay, here's the thing. Graham actually
Just
is
set
as cheap.
examples.
He actually is as cheap as he says he is. And I honestly think it would be like the worst way for him to spend his time if he was budgeting. Because it would be like going through his statements at the end of the month, which is just
Sure.
like already, it's
Well, apps, dude, you don't have to go through it. You just be like, am I over this category?
but what over the category by how much? It's like if he buys a shirt, he still buys from H&M. Also, all of his clothes he gets it from friends. Like he actually lives very frugally.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
think
that's fair. I don't. You guys are not wrong with that. I would feel so uncomfortable because I talk about budgeting, and then if I didn't budget, I'd feel so weird.
I don't know.
You guys
me
just aren't in a
personally,
place
I
to
don't,
do it.
I don't necessarily
You need
talk
to.
about budgeting that much.
Yeah.
I more so endorse like spending your time wisely, which
Sure.
I wouldn't say like budgeting isn't that, but I would say for some people you don't necessarily need to budget if you just don't spend that much money anyways. Like you probably don't need a budget. You've been budgeting and so diligent for such a long time, you probably just naturally don't spend a lot of money, right?
I only budget Panda Express.
There we go. And you probably don't naturally spend that much money, right?
No, I'm pretty.
Exactly. So how often do you go through your budget and you're like, oh, I should probably change that, and then you actually follow through with that?
I just like to know where I am on my category spending. I like to know just like, because I am also, I like food. I like to sometimes know like, okay, have I gone a little overboard this month? And then like, it'll tell me on Mint,
Got it,
Whether
yeah.
or not it's overboard of what I could afford or anything like that. Obviously, you guys, you're not wrong or anything like that for not budgeting. I'm just a little, I don't know, I'm a little surprised. I just thought like you would, but
Yeah.
or at least the basic stuff. We have a locksmith payment of $165.
Oh my God, I forgot I said that. Okay, this is so embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so this was just like a airhead moment. I went to California to visit my parents, and the key that I brought with my car just completely got lost. And I just had to call out a locksmith to make a new key.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Gusto.
Okay, so is this a subscription? What is that?
I couldn't.
45?
This is yeah.
That's where I run payroll. So that's a business expense.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Gusto. You like Gusto?
It's cool. Yeah. Like my accountant proposed that I use like her own services or whatever and to run payroll, and it's like way more expensive. So I was like, I'll just do it myself.
I use QuickBooks.
Okay. Yeah, it works.
Well, I was hoping you could convince me to switch because I don't really like QuickBooks, but
I mean, if you don't like it, I would definitely explore other options. Gusto is fine for me. Yeah.
and I think you're just paying off cards potentially.
Yeah.
and
This isn't the
PayPal.
most exciting account.
No. There's a couple things.
Oh, you missed out on this. Zelle payment to Derek Selby, $32.30 on this one.
One second. Okay. Well, I mean, what? What
It's
is
my
it?
phone bill. I'm on my parents' plan.
Really? Okay. See,
I'm
I
on my
wouldn't have
parents'
even
plan.
thought to catch that.
Yeah, I'm on my parents' plan, and I send my dad money.
Sure, why not? I mean, that's
Yeah.
incredible. I would
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
It's
that
a great
makes sense.
deal.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. You're probably still on their healthcare?
Dude, my mom texted me. She texted me, honestly, this was like last week, and she's like, hey, I'm so sorry, I have bad news. Like, you're losing your health care. So I do have to get my new health care, I think, starting in September of this year.
Okay.
She's a public school teacher. She teaches kindergarten. So I had that good, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm losing it. So,
Dang.
yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Shout out my mom, though. Honestly, she supported me. So I wouldn't have health care, if not for her.
Good
so
job,
that's nice.
So she's going to have, so you're going to have like what? 300, 400, 500?
Yeah, 300 probably.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. Now in here we have a few things. One, I see 2 rents you're collecting. So
yes,
explain, because this is an income source that you didn't mention in your income.
Yeah.
Explain your housing situation.
My housing situation is I bought a house in October of 2021. It was actually funny story. I'll try to make it as brief as possible. My dad went halvesies on like this not very nice house over on the avenue of where I grew up, and it was $9,000 for him, and he got. Yeah, it was cheap. Okay. Yeah. And he did that when he was 23 years old. So my goal was always to buy a house by 22.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I bought a house October 11th and my birthday was October 12th.
Nice.
So dude. I did it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I got that. And then the interest rate was 2.874. Purchase price was $590,000. My PITI is just shy of $2,300. I think it says it somewhere on here. Actually, it's my PennyMac payment. And I collect rent. Yeah.
30-year fixed?
Yeah, 30-year fixed.
Very cool. And you collect rent?
Yes.
Tell me about your rent situation.
Okay. So I collect different rents from everybody in there because each room is differently desirable. And also some of the rooms I furnished myself, some I didn't furnish. So I add these numbers up somewhere on the screen. It is 750 plus 904 plus 1010 plus, I think, oh God, what's the last number? I think it's like 1,000.
Okay, so Apple has the nicest room.
Oh, plus 900. The last one's 900, not 1010.
Oh.
Yeah, Apple has the nicest room. Yeah, he started out in a different room and wanted an upgrade, so I gave him an upgrade.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you feel you're being generous with these rents, or do you think they're a little intense? I don't know the area.
I think that I'm being fine with them. Yeah, I would say it's fairly market. I definitely don't think that, like, okay, I'm giving a little bit of a deal to a couple of them, but...
the ones you like more.
Not the one. Oh God, this is a conversation I've been avoiding for such a long time.
Okay.
It's not the ones that I like more. It was just like different places financially and trying to help somebody out.
And you're all friends, right?
Yeah, we're all friends. A couple
that makes sense.
A couple of them I didn't necessarily know before they moved in, so it was very like market. And I want it to be very business oriented. I don't want it to be like something that anybody's leveraging someone else's friendship for something. But
that's so interesting because you're kind of. I mean, you host a popular podcast.
Yeah.
You are more of a public personality.
Yeah.
Just like random.
So they're kind of random, kind of not so random. One of the people I moved in, so I initially moved in and I had 2 housemates. Housemate number 1 was a hometown friend. I moved him out here. He didn't have a job. He got a job here.
Okay.
The other one actually was a fan of the channel. And I noticed we had some mutuals on Instagram when he DM'd me. Because I said publicly, I'm like, hey guys, I'm buying a house. I'm looking to like move in some people. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just something, an idea I'm flirting with. Well, I got a DM from this guy. Saw we had some mutuals. He said, I would love to move out. And yeah, I moved him out here. I checked obviously with the mutuals. I'm like, yo, is this guy normal? They all said, yes, he's very cool. He's normal. So he came out here and we got along very well. Those are the 2 people. The other 2 people actually knew the guy that I didn't know initially. They came and visited for a little bit and just stayed at the house. We got to know them. I really liked them and they moved in.
A fan moved in.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He must have loved that for a bit.
I don't, it feels so uncomfortable for me to say like, oh, he's a fan. But he's a fan. He was a viewer. I'll call him a viewer. He was a viewer of the channel.
Didn't he tell you he's a fan?
I don't know if he said he was a fan. I don't know if he said he was a fan. I mean, he saw it when he was watching our podcast. So I'll say
he must have loved it until he just realized that shocker behind the camera, people are just people.
Yeah. You know who you are. Okay. You know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
You do know.
Oh, I do know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, and then, so there's, in the Venmo statement we have 2 rents coming in. So I calculated some of the, your housing situation in terms of money, but there's only 2 rents in these 30 days. So we may have just had something. Like
honestly, I'm not super diligent about collecting it, and they're not super diligent about paying it. But usually, like a week or so after the fact or before, like it could have came in November, and it just wasn't in there. Like sometimes they'll pay a day before. But yeah.
Okay. And then just some things like getting some bevs and lots of just sending things in and out. We got some bowling. Bowling was fun. Lots of bowling, roulette, bowling forever.
Bowling forever. Yeah, I think I might have paid for everybody, and then like I got some Venmos back.
Oh, okay. Bowling's fun. It's classic. Yeah. I think not a lot of people, enjoy bowling as much as it should be enjoyed. Yeah. People don't think to go bowling.
To be honest, man, I don't want to be that guy. I love being agreeable. I really do. I like bowling. Not that important to me.
No, it's not important, but it's fun.
So I like to think I'm naturally decent at things if I try them out. Bowling is something that I am just naturally terrible.
So Jack has to be good at things to enjoy them.
Yeah, I do. That sounds so bad, but for me, it's like if I like spend time and effort on something, like I want to be good. And when it's actually not very helpful.
No, you go to bowling alleys to get cheese fries, get semi-drunk, and throw balls on a floor.
I'm ultra competitive. I am ultra competitive. So like if I say, oh, I'm gonna start playing chess, it's hard for me to commit to things like that because I will want to be the best.
Are you a Mario Kart guy?
No. Yeah.
That's my competitive thing.
Okay.
I was like, I
could probably still take you, but it's
please.
Okay, I'm kidding. No, you got me any day.
And breakfast. We're doing breakfast constantly.
I honestly don't even eat breakfast anymore. I stopped eating breakfast. So
we stopped it right after this.
Yeah.
Okay. Huff?
Huff? I don't know what Huff is. Oh, something regarding the World Cup. Oh, I think he paid me that because my team won the World Cup.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Starbucks.
Look,
your
man.
boss would be so upset.
Look, man, he doesn't
Or
gotta
partner.
know. He doesn't have to know about that at all. Yeah, dude, it's really bad. I've been drinking Starbucks every single day.
There's so many better coffee shops, though.
I know, but this one's right by my house.
Oh,
and the thing is, I go in there, and they say my name, and they acknowledge me, and I can be at the back of the line, and by the time I get to the front of the line, they are already handing me the cup because they know what I want.
What do you want? What's your order?
It is a coffee with half and half.
Okay.
Yeah, so very, very basic, very boring, but I love it. Gets me out of the house in the morning.
You go every day?
Well, nearly every day. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, most days for sure.
Okay. How does it compare to that?
This is significantly better. Guys,
Really?
Caleb made me this coffee, and I gotta get an espresso machine. I really have to get one because this just convinced me.
Thanks, Mom. That was an incredible Christmas gift,
Very good.
honestly.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah, Starbucks. There's only 2 Starbucks on here, but then we're getting Texas wet burrito as well, so it's not really that crazy. And then Christmas presents, which obviously, cool.
Yeah.
And more breakfast. We're doing breakfast. But this is where you spend your fun. So, I mean, you're just going crazy, dude.
Yeah, okay. I'm going crazy.
You're going crazy. Basil and mint, Ventura Coast Brewing, Blenders, Bonandos. I can never repeat these things, by the way. Tavern, Cupboard, Crossroads, India Place. Creative.
I didn't want to go there. That was against my will. My housemates know this. I did not want to go to the Indian place.
Did you want to go to Dave & Buster's? Because you went there.
I did really want to go to Dave & Buster's.
And Roberto's Taco and Sheba Hut,
Yeah.
Sushi, Necco, Red Rock Bowling, Houston's Hot Chicken, CyberQuest, In-N-Out.
What is that grimace for? You not a fan of In-N-Out?
I want my burgers to be good, preferably when I eat them.
See, this right here this is what I like to call a point of contention. Because I, on one hand, believe that In-N-Out is the best place you can get a burger and fries that's like fast food.
Fries?
Okay, well, I will admit that the fries at In-N-Out are not consistently the best fries, but they complement the burger. So
The burger, it just tastes like I got the most basic meat from the grocery store and I spent like 2 seconds thinking about it. And it was okay.
And you're coming
It's
from a
okay.
place of what? Trying Whataburger?
No, Whataburger is also trash.
Okay.
Whataburger is crap. I don't know what people are on about down here.
I thought Whataburger was okay. I am a burger connoisseur. People that really listen to the channel may know that I get burgers everywhere I go. That is basically my litmus test for how good a restaurant is.
Okay, how good is Shake Shack?
I don't really eat Shake Shack. Yeah.
That is burger.
Is it?
It is
It's a smash
the
burger,
best
right?
burger.
A smash burger?
It is by far the best burger.
Okay.
Culver's is actually also very good. I don't know if you guys have those out there.
No, I don't think so.
That's from
Okay.
Wisconsin.
In-N-Out's really good, and I know you're going to get ratioed in the comments right
I am.
now. In-N-Out's very good.
I am.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're one of the few places here in Austin where I have In-N-Out right there. I have Shake Shack right there, and Whataburger and Culver's and all the goodies. You can hit them all in one day, and In-N-Out is the worst.
That is a terrible take, Caleb. I can't believe you're actually saying this publicly, man. You are going to get shamed in the comments.
I am a slut for fries, and
Okay.
the fries are not good.
The fries aren't that great, yes, but like In-N-Out burger. It's not In-N-Out
It's
fries.
okay. It's a 5 out of 10 burger. The animal style brings it to a 7 out of 10.
The animal style is actually free on the burger. A lot of people don't know that it's free.
I will give In-N-Out very affordable.
Okay. There. Yeah.
Incredible affordable.
And, okay, a lot of people say it's all about the flavor. I know we're totally rambling right here. I'm sorry. A lot of people say it's about the flavor, but it's about the vibe of In-N-Out, which already, I know I hate that word too.
No, I think I agree with you.
You go into In-N-Out, you order at the counter, everybody is so nice, right? You go and you sit down. Very few fast food restaurants, you go and get the food and actually sit down. You usually take it home.
Yeah.
But in In-N-Out, you sit down, you're all happy. Maybe you get one of the hats, you put it on, you get one of those sticker things, you start putting the stickers on the card. And
have you never been to Shake Shack?
No. I don't think so. Maybe I've been once, but it wasn't that remarkable. I'm not really even remembering it.
Dude, it is life-changing. That's like so good. And you sit down, they serve you. It's so good. They don't serve you, but they call you up and you go get it. And it's so good.
I'll try. I do love a smash burger, and I do believe they're smash burgers, right?
So good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make a really mean homemade smash burger.
Okay. Well, that was a tangent of all tangents. Also, their shakes suck.
In-N-Out? Well, you don't, I mean, like, it's not about the shake, man. You go and you get the burger.
I am a burger, fry, or onion ring, and shake guy. Okay. I need the trio, the holy trinity.
Okay. Oh, I will go and I will give Shake Shack an open-minded test. We'll see what I think.
That's good. But you're also from California, right?
I am from California.
So
that doesn't make me biased. Don't say.
Come on, you grew up on it though.
It doesn't make me. I grew up on McDonald's.
Yeah,
that's what I would eat as a kid. We would go out as a family and we would eat McDonald's.
No, but you could have it. Like, I didn't even have the opportunity to taste it in a regular life until my taste buds were...
I can't believe you're saying this
my taste buds were fully developed.
You are saying that In-N-Out is not the best. Like, okay, sure, maybe it's not the best, but you're saying it's a 5 burger?
Yes.
I may as well just stand up and leave this interview.
Fine, for fast food, it's 6.
Wow.
Because it goes Shake Shack, Culver's...
Caleb, if you think you're going to convince me otherwise, look, I've given up on the fact that I'm able to convince you. I know it's not going to happen, but I guarantee you are not convincing me. Because at least
I've been to 2 out of the 4 we talked about. You've only been to 2 of them.
I can't go to Culver's because it doesn't exist in
Well, maybe
California.
You should open a franchise because they're franchising
I would actually love to do that. Culver's, if you want to open up a franchise in California,
I actually
let me know.
have been highly considering opening a Culver's franchise.
Okay, you probably should.
I really want to do that.
Lucrative.
There's 3 of them in Austin, and they do so. They're also busy every time I go there.
No.
God, that's good. And they also created this. So.
Okay.
Okay. Roberto's Tacos.
Yeah. That's like right up the street from me.
Parkway Tavern. Sushi Neko. Couple recurrents.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even want to go that second time. Graham was just like really the motivator there. He loves that place.
Are you guys friends?
Graham and I?
Uh-huh.
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I just didn't know if it was more of a work.
Nah, dude. It's hard not to be friends with someone if you live with them for over 2 years.
Oh, so you guys live together?
Yeah. I've been working with Graham for now, it's like 3.5. It might be close to 4. I think in April it might hit 4 years. And I've lived with him for nearly 3 years. Like same house over a year.
Really?
So yeah, he's a really close friend.
I want to pet Bailey.
You want to pet Bailey?
Bailey looks incredibly cute. I'm such a fan of dogs.
Bailey wants to be petted by you.
Oh, yeah.
She's very cute.
Bailey. Yes, we're best friends. Smith's Food. Creative names.
Smith's is a grocery store.
China Agogo.
China Agogo. Yes, that place is very good.
Smith's Food.
The Thai food.
You wanted to just go ruin your tongue with some In-N-Out. But you picked it up with Eartha Cafe because we love coffee and Popeyes is good. Everyone loves Cajun fries.
Yeah.
And Vaughn's.
Yeah. So actually, honestly, you want to
$610.29 of bull on this card.
That's all basically all food, right?
All the X's are food, and the added up, the X is $610.
Yeah, that's
in a month. Yeah. One card.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
No budget.
That is pretty bad.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Smith's is groceries. So I do make my own food sometimes. But here's the thing, man. Once I was compiling up like all of my statements and everything, honestly, I'm not gonna say it made me hate myself because hate is a very strong word, but it made me look down upon my eating habits because I have a very like sometimes I'll go all in and I'll be like, I'm eating so healthy, I'm doing everything right. And then I'll just like fall into the trap of like going and eating out and stuff like that.
Well, what's the issue? You're objectively in good shape.
Yeah, because I work out, I exercise. Yeah. But still, like, for me, it's not necessarily about the shape. Like, it's more so just about how you feel. And I'm like a very firm believer. It's like what you put in your body really will affect your mood, your motivation, just like what time you wake up, either your drive, your energy levels, everything. It's more than just what you look like. Yeah.
Well, if you want to break up with Graham, I'll give you $5 an hour to be my personal trainer.
Okay, deal. That's actually great offer.
City Double Cash. Everyone loves the City Double Cash.
It's a great card.
Yeah. Great card, but you only made 5 purchases. Joe Malone. So you wanted to smell pretty.
That was for my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And Epidemic Sound. So I actually didn't really know that. Is that for work?
That's work. Yeah.
It is work. So it's stuff you put in videos.
It probably shouldn't be on my City Double Cash card because if you know what that card is, it's only personal. But yes, that is yeah. It's basically you can get this like free music. Well, it's technically licensed music, but if you pay that subscription every month, then you get the music.
Do you like Storyblocks?
Yeah, we have Storyblocks as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing Storyblocks.
Yeah, we have both. Epidemic Sound's actually like incredible. Yeah, we've been using them for several years, and also they have sponsored the channel. But they sponsored it like I think for the first time like 6 months ago, and I had been subscribed for like 2 years, so it made me very happy when I did that.
I'm giving you some love. Come on.
Yeah,
come on. And that's the terrible okay. Well, you're not gonna like this part of Storyblocks. The terrible music that were in the videos that Graham has reacted to were from Storyblocks. Oh, and those were really bad. But I think that's on the chooser.
Yeah,
that's
probably,
on the chooser of the music, and we did not make the best choice. Chase Inc. Business Cash. It's only really one. I think it was internet payment. Is Cox Las Vegas internet?
I get that fast stuff.
Okay, and then a couple other things that were blacked out, which is fine. Then you paid it off.
I think that was because it was a different month. It's because it was November. That's why I blocked it off.
Oh well, it was still within 30 days.
Oh, all right, my bad. It's probably that. This is it's probably just like house stuff.
Is that a mood ring?
No, this is an aura ring. Tells me my sleep. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
cool.
It's a subscription, but I don't pay for
You're
it.
big into the self-health type stuff, aren't you?
I would say like I'm health conscious, generally speaking. I know that sounds ridiculous when I eat out that much, but yeah.
No, I mean, no, that's not. I mean, you can have healthy things when you eat out.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I generally don't, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there's that. Burger connoisseur. So, and then I also put out this on the home when I was measuring up the home. Republic Trash Services you have on your City Double Cash. And then I think this is sewer, City of Vegas.
Yeah.
Sewer. Yeah. That makes sense. They have a Chase card. How do you manage your credit cards? Are you just selecting them just based on the rewards that come with it? Or
Yeah. I select based off the rewards that come with it. And I usually just honestly what I do is I text Graham and I'll be like, yo, what card should I sign up for? And he's like, do this card if you haven't already done it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've already done it. What about this one? He's like, yeah, do this one. I'm like, all right. So that's basically how I do it. And then I get the spend and then I don't use it ever again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Amazon. But a lot of them are returns. So really only 2 Amazon purchases on here of $56.33.
Honestly, Amazon scammed me.
Is this the Amazon card?
No, this is just a random Chase card.
Yeah. Do you not have the Amazon card? 5% cash back?
No.
Do you not use Amazon enough to justify?
I use Amazon a lot. I should do that.
Ooh, dude,
Is it 5% on everything?
Yeah.
That's actually incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything on
I will
Amazon.
do that. Okay.
I think so, unless they've changed it, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
When I opened it with a great credit score, I don't know. Something weird happened with their hard inquiry. It must have. They gave me a $300 balance cap.
What? 300?
Yeah, a few years ago. All my other cards were thousands and thousands, you know? It was weird.
Thousands and thousands.
Yeah, well, I don't...
So much money.
Okay.
No, dude, I got rejected from the Best Buy one. I was like checking out. This is when I was buying my first ever camera. It was like $3,000. And they're like, oh, you can save 10% on your first ever checkout with this card. So I'm like, deal. And I signed up for it. And they just put the ban hammer on my account. And they said, no, you can't have this card because we don't want you to. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be happy to know I've since got it up to like 3,000. So
there we go. There we go.
Still too low for my happiness,
That's good.
But
that's still
I've worked it up. We have the Platy too.
Yes.
Yeah. We have $85 on here. The Starbucks.
Look, man, I told you. It's bad. I know it's really bad. I know it sounds hypocritical, but I come here. I'm willing to be transparent. Yes, I get Starbucks nearly every day.
That's not even what I was reacting to.
Oh, what are you reacting to?
In-N-Out.
Oh, okay.
And then Amazon.
Oh, is that a social media money? Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
I was cleared. I can talk about it. That is, I pay this guy to clip up our like your YouTube videos, our podcasts into TikToks, and then post them on TikTok.
You want to say how much?
Yeah, it's $2,000 a month.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
he gave us a really good deal, which is nice because we were his first ever client, and we've also referred him to a bunch of other people. So.
Oh, good return on that.
Financially, I would say we're probably at a loss, but I would say overall, like there's a lot of stuff like value that gets brought by it that's immeasurable, but I would say yes, like definitely it's worth it.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, $85 bullshit. Which, I mean, whatever.
That's a strong word.
Do I swear a lot for you?
No,
Sorry,
I don't care about the swearing. I'm just saying BS, as in Starbucks and Apple Pay for In-N-Out. I think those are mighty fine purchases, if you ask me, actually. Thank you very much.
That's essentially like consuming a turd on a bun.
See that once again.
Sorry, that was extreme.
What do your statements look like? Well, let me see what you.
Excuse me.
Let me see what you're spending your money.
Wait until I get to 100,000 subscribers, then they get the financial audit on me.
Right. Okay.
And in that case, you will see Culver's replacing.
Okay.
And Panda Express, but they already know that. Big Panda Express advocate here. Then we have the Platy.
By the way, Panda
Platy.
Express is mid. It's not that great.
No, it's not that great, but they pay managers starting at like $90,000 a year, which is very cool.
Oh, so you want to support that?
No, so it's just like all these people that have struggled with their income on the show, and they're like, yeah, but I can't get another job. I'm like, dude, around here they are desperately hiring, and that is just an example that I've used to like set it. Because every Panda Express that I walk into, they invented orange chicken, by the way. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
They invented that?
They invented orange chicken.
They did not invent
Yes,
orange
they did.
chicken.
In California. It's a California. You're a Californian. You should know this. It was from California, from a Hawaiian that moved to California.
So you're telling me that an establishment such as, what do we call this again? Panda Express, right? Invented orange chicken, and then other high-end establishments jumped on that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's money, right? Wow. Everyone loves orange chicken. It was like 4 Panda Express inns in California.
Do we have a fact checker around here?
There are inns. Yeah, everyone's typing in Google right now. But, I mean, do you watch Company Man? Shout out to Company Man.
No.
Dude, Company Man's great. I love the backstory of businesses. Oh, it's such a great channel.
All right, good. Check it out.
Yeah, Company Man's great. Pizza.
Yeah.
DoorDash.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's an expensive way. Oh, wait, it was $9 though. Was this pickup?
DoorDash.
This isn't that much.
Is this? $90 on DoorDash?
No, $9. So I'm thinking like, was it just pickup? Because that's like a delivery fee alone is right there.
It might be just pickup. Yeah, honestly, I'm not really sure what that is, to be honest. It's probably food.
Chiba Hut.
Yeah. It's a good sandwich spot.
Roberto's Tacos. We see that come up a lot.
Yeah.
4 Amazon purchases. Apple subscription, probably just storage. Never mind.
What?
Well, I was going to say it's probably OnlyFans because it's blocked out, but we'll just...
No, that's $9.99. That's probably storage. Because I do pay $9.
Oh, you just blocked out something that you thought
Yeah, it was probably just like ID or something like that.
Oh, okay, cool. Because that's usually what people ask us to block
out. Is it OnlyFans?
Yeah,
no,
it's usually
surprisingly, guys, there are no OnlyFans transactions on this.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
on the provided statements.
Starbucks. We're back to Amazon and Amazon and Amazon. On here, $278.85 a bowl. So these are starting to stack up.
Barnes and Noble?
I didn't X Barnes and Noble.
Oh, you X'd out the things that you think are bad purchases.
Yes.
Got it. Well, did you even see what these Amazon purchases were?
We could look at it. Okay. Should we look at it?
Sure.
Okay, you got sea salt flakes.
Yep.
From Amazon.
So that's not a BS purchase, is it then?
Sriracha, that's fine.
There we go.
Okay, so we'll just click on, let's see what the $76 one is, and we'll call it there. Okay, I don't even know what this is, but...
Oh, that's a knife sharpening kit.
I guess it's better than buying new knives.
Right, exactly. It was also a gift to my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, $1,278.69 a bowl.
Yeah, where are you getting this number from?
That's adding up essentially all the restaurants.
All of the stuff. Oh, okay.
Vast majority restaurants, a couple Amazon purchases.
Sure. Yeah, honestly, I would agree with that then.
Okay.
At that point, yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, you win.
All right. So, that is a lot of money.
Okay.
And this is what's very disappointing because I like to yell. I enjoy yelling.
Okay.
It's only 5%. Of your pre-taxed income on a monthly basis.
Okay.
5% is spent on bullshit. And that can easily fit within, there's the classic 50, 30, 20. Yeah. 30% on fun.
Right. Is that what you mean by here? Because that's way too lenient, I think.
It is too lenient, but I think it gets people on the right track.
I agree.
Yeah, starting to build muscles.
That's what I tell people that have never budgeted before.
Yeah.
Is that. Yeah.
So again, I personally don't do that, but 5%. Nothing to yell at.
I gotta say this, guys. I'm blessed. I am just a very fortunate person to not want expensive things. Sure. I just don't. Like this shirt, the one that you see right here, I got this at a thrift store for $2. This jacket I got sent to me for free. These pants were a gift from my mother. So clothes, they don't matter to me. I drive a car that I got from my grandma when she passed that was free for me.
What's your car?
It's a 2005 Lexus RX 330.
And I assume you fully own it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I did buy a car for fun, like a sports car. A sports car? Yeah. It's a 2000 Mazda Miata. So it was $4,000.
I don't know if you've seen the show very much, but I'm not a car person.
You aren't a car person.
I don't know anything about them or care.
Mazda Miatas, they're cool. They're like, you put
okay.
the top down, it's 2-seater. You know, I put in like a really good sound system into it. It was like $1,200.
Oh, cool. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a car. So
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your house, though. This house, the purchase price you mentioned earlier, can you say it? Oh, wait. $590.
Yes.
I'm sorry, how much did you put down?
I put 20% down.
20% down. Very good.
Yeah.
I have that house here. It's an estimate of $632,900.
I'll take it. Yeah, I think it was like upwards like 670 at some point.
Yeah.
But now it's significantly lower.
Wouldn't be
than peak.
surprised. Actually, it says that it's gained in the last 30 days.
Oh, cool.
Have you guys hit your bottom? We have not hit our bottom here yet.
I don't know. I mean, like, here's the thing. You can't really tell based off like a month-to-month fluctuation. Yeah. But as a general, it seems like it's still kind of going down. I mean, the rates are still ridiculously high. So I could imagine that the prices will continue to drop a little bit.
Sure. Your mortgage is what?
My mortgage, I don't know, like $1,800, $1,900, something like that.
I had it.
Well, that's my PennyMac payment, which is an escrow payment.
Okay. Yes. So everything combined.
Yes.
What is that out?
That's PITI.
What's your PITI?
My PITI?
Yeah.
It would be whatever that PennyMac payment is.
Where was it? Oh, it's on here. Okay.
Yeah.
2,316.
Yeah.
How are property taxes out there?
I don't really know, dude, to be completely honest. I think property taxes, they have some like weird metric system. Like I know that in California, it's like an actual percentage of it, but there's like this weird assessed value thing in Nevada that doesn't get adjusted every single year. And there's a certain percentage of that. And I think it also depends on what part of like Vegas you're in. It's very confusing, but I think it's a couple $100 a month.
You know how expensive California is?
Yes.
Did you know that it's like around 100, 150 people that make below that actually pay more in taxes here than in California?
Wait, say that again?
People who make around 150, maybe like $200,000, people who make less than that pay more in taxes living in places like Austin than they do living in California.
From property tax?
It's mostly property tax and the flat taxes because you guys have a progressive income tax system. So like, you know, people that are not making too much, they barely pay anything. But then the property taxes here are insane. I don't remember the property taxes on this, but it's stupid. Stupid.
That's absurd. I remember I was actually looking at potentially buying real estate in Austin because I do want to buy a rental property, and I do think diversification of location is very important.
Won't cash flow. Fair warning. But
well, in Austin, yeah. But I was looking at it, and I did notice that the property taxes here are very high.
It's ridiculous.
But also another thing to consider is not only obviously like, yeah, that is quite an unfortunate statistic that like that affects those people that way. But at the same time, you have to consider like the buying power of certain people here in Austin versus the people in California.
Oh yeah, no, I did a
it.
video which is being linked right now that broke down everything in terms of average spent on food and stuff like that. So it was like, I made it such a long time ago. I think it was like people who made $150,000 or less spend more in taxes in terms of like sales taxes and every kind of tax you can get in a state level here. But of course, you make over that in California, you get just screwed.
And not only that, but if you're making $130,000 here, you're definitely better off than making $150,000 in most places in California.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to live there if I was making a lot of money.
Yeah, I remember my first time paying like an actual California tax, which was 2020 for me. Along in the income journey, that was like the first time I actually had made like really good money, and that was quite unfortunate.
Is that why you guys left
California? I think that was a really big factor.
Okay.
Yeah, driving it. But also, I will say, as unfortunate as it is, since I am like a Southern California person, like I grew up there, it's definitely been going downhill recently. So
really?
Also seeing that, yeah, I mean, it's still a lovely place to live, but at the same time, when we visited Nevada, it was just like, wow, this is very nice. There's like not a bunch of trash. It seems very safe. Like there's never any traffic. So.
You miss the weather though?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I go back and I visit my family quite often. So
Vegas isn't that far, right?
It's about a 5-hour drive. Yeah. So it's not too bad.
Your house, we have $2,316 out a month, but we mentioned these different kind of rents that weren't on your statement this time. So from the math I did yesterday, I now have to do new math. Well, after sewer and everything and all, you know, your utilities, except for cable, because I wouldn't include that, obviously, or internet, $3,350.26 is what's out on a monthly basis. But now that I know those new rents, $3,564.
So I cash flowed that month.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you're living for free and you're making a little bit of money.
If we average it out for the total cost that I spent on the house last year, certainly it was at a loss because there is CapEx, which is very expensive. But
have you also put money into the house?
Yeah.
What have you done?
So initially when I moved into the house, this was extremely unfortunate. Guys, if you're buying a house, make sure that you double check the inspector because I closed on the house the day after I closed. Maybe it was I think it was actually 2 days, 2 to 3 days. I look at the front door and there's this note left on the front door and it's from the city of Las Vegas. And who wants to see that right after you close on the property? Nobody. So I check it and it says they have noticed perpetual water usage from this location.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I call out a guy, he inspects, like re-inspects all of that. And he says, yeah, it looks like there is perpetual water usage and it looks like it's your main line and it looks like there's a leak. So I had to pay to have that changed, and that was like $4,000.
Dude,
right after I closed on the property. And we looked, and I contacted the city, and they're like, yeah, we sent notices last year, we sent the year before. They were just never addressed. And the sellers could say basically, oh, we just never opened up our mailbox and saw that letter in the mail, so they didn't know, which is legal, right?
Okay.
So,
have you done any renovations?
I have not done any like renovations, like value adds. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you have in savings? Not retirement, savings. Because I don't have savings here.
Savings as in what? Just like my savings account or investing?
Well, do you have different accounts, not investing? What do you just have in money savings that you can just access right now, not investing?
Money savings I can access right now is about $200,000.
$200,000. Why?
Because I'm a wimp now because I lost a lot of money in the stock market. And also,
all right, it's time to buck up, dude. That's losing.
Oh, it is not losing, my friend. If we look at last year, I could have thrown that in last year and I would have lost a lot of money.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Actually, I was just thinking about this in a different way. In my head, when I heard that, I immediately pictured it in a Chase savings account versus a high yield.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. What are you with? What's it getting?
It's CIT Bank. I've been with them for a really long time. I think it's like 3%.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You can do a little better than that now.
I definitely could, but it's like
it's whatever. I mean, it's still losing to inflation, but
yeah.
You don't believe in just like dollar cost averaging?
Oh, I 100% do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I also have a good amount of money invested, but at the same time, I know that like you shouldn't be an emotional investor. That's the very smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But for me, when I lost a bunch of money and I was over leveraged in that last crash and it just literally obliterated me, it made me turn really sour towards investing in stocks and real estate. And I still have a good amount of money in stocks.
It's because you weren't doing it in the proper way. You were taking advantage of margin.
I was for the most part. It was just my Robinhood account that really like took a beating.
So everything else, you're still down because the market's down? Who cares? It's temporary.
Well, I dumped a ton of money. I literally like went all in. This was bad. I went all in on the market. I probably had a few $1,000s in savings. It was December of 2021.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. December of 2021, which we both know what happened. Yeah. Like right after that, and I remember
Is it all still in?
Yeah, it's all still in.
Great.
I haven't sold anything.
Then who
but
cares?
The thing is, I needed to build up a cash position to kind of like even it out.
Okay.
And I remember this is extremely bad for taxes. I would have had to sell stock in order to pay it. So I actually borrowed money to pay taxes.
Really?
Yeah.
From
a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
and then I paid it back right after I got paid. But it wasn't.
How much was it?
20 grand.
That sucks.
Yeah. But that was just because like I went all in on the stock. I honestly, that's an exaggeration. I probably had $10,000 in savings, which still isn't enough considering my monthly expenses.
Yeah.
But I did have to borrow money from a very nice person that lent it to me, and I gave it back to them immediately.
So far, two polar opposite ends.
Yeah.
You're going like, I don't want to get in the market because I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go full into the market and have only a few $1,000s on the side.
Well, I would say it's like a causation.
I think there's a middle ground.
I agree. Yeah, I'm a pretty extreme person. It's hard for me to like find like the middle ground in a lot of things.
Do you see a therapist?
No.
You should see a therapist.
I know.
Everyone should see a therapist. That's not a you thing. That's just everyone should.
No, I agree with that 100%.
But being an extremist on anything is not good inherently.
Right. So it's not like an extremist on.
I'm not thinking like political. Like
no. I know what you're saying, but like not on everything, but just in general, it's. I think it has to do with my very competitive nature, right? So like if I go into something, I need to be the best at that thing, right? It's kind of like a toxic thing, but that's just who I am.
No, it's good.
And I think it's good and bad, right? And that also makes it really hard for me to take on new endeavors, because if I take on something, I need to be the best. So basically it makes me like shut out and have a very strong filter. And then if something breaks past that filter, I need to go all in 100 miles an hour. So that was the investing thing. It's like, I was doing well. I was like trying to do it conservatively, which I was. And then I had made a bunch of money, I took my Robinhood portfolio from 20,000 to 70,000. From 70,000, I was like, okay, let's go. Like,
why wouldn't you get in now though? Like, okay, I know a lot of people think a recession is going to, take place this year, a couple quarters of GDP decline. I know people think who monitor the stock market. No one knows, of course, but they think, we're probably going to continue to see a downturn, at least through the first half of the year, maybe all the way up to the end of the year. Right. But no matter what, this will be considered a low point for decades and decades from now. So why not get in now? Why are you waiting for a specific time?
$200,000 is too much to be holding in cash. I agree. But like I said, I had no money. I had no cash. It was all invested and all just going down at an extremely rapid rate.
Oh, I know, but there's a middle ground.
I know, exactly. So I decided, I'm like, okay, I need to first off build the amount of cash I should probably have, which let's say is like $40,000, $50,000, right? Considering my monthly expenses, if they're exceeding $10,000 a month. Then, okay, I got to $50,000 and I'm like, I really want to buy a piece of real estate. I want to hold it in cash. And while I built up to the 50,000, mind you, the market was just plummeting. So it kind of like, it didn't turn me sour, but it definitely made me a lot more cautious and conservative with my money. Also, I met Dave Ramsey, and I really respect what he's done for the most part. And I like the conservative approach. And I was scared of losing money, so I held on to cash.
But your fear
dictated my action. Yes.
It's not good at letting fear control us on everything though.
I know.
That's where I slightly disagree with Dave, is his lack. He accepts no risk. He accepts no risk. And he puts a lot of emotion before math.
Right.
I think as long as you are this is why I'm a proponent of therapy, is because when you're able to mentally comprehend everything and mentally accept things, you can accept the math over the emotional side of things. You can emotionally accept the math instead of just being terrified all the time. So that's where I slightly disagree with him. But I mean, it sounds like the emotion really impacted you.
Yeah, I would say, well, I just generally kind of have a fear of loss in general for the most part. But
the only way it would be a loss if the S&P 500 or whatever, if that's what we're talking you getting into, just like went to zero.
Right, but mind you, I didn't sell out of any of my stocks when I had.
You're just not getting in though.
Right, and I will. I definitely will. Like I said, $200,000 is like, it's more than enough that I have in savings, but I also was saving up for real estate, like I said, which I didn't necessarily just want to throw more money in index funds while I wait to find a piece of property. And I also have taxes that I need to pay.
Yeah.
And like,
you don't have a tax account saved up on the side outside of this?
No.
Oh, interesting.
It's just,
so you just have one pot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like bucketing out?
No.
Oh, I'm a big bucket guy. Okay. Helps me organize. Why? Oh yeah, I mean taxes are probably going to be good.
It's going to be a lot, yeah. So I definitely need to like be prepared for that, and then hopefully after that, if I have enough to buy like a very modest home in like the Midwest for real estate, investment property.
Dude, I'm telling you, college Midwest towns, incredible places for cash flow.
Yeah,
for that beautiful cash on cash return.
Yeah,
in terms of long term growth, I mean it's going to be pretty meh compared to places like this.
Right,
but that cash flow, whew. I mean, that's my 2 rental properties are, and they've done fantastic.
They're doing well.
Very well.
That's good. Yeah, I definitely, in real estate, I would strongly prefer cash flow. And I think that's also just has to do with like my risk intolerance, is because it's a lot less scary when the property is actually turning an actual tangible, like visual profit.
Speaking of risk intolerance, and then you talked about being big on the Dave train there. He believes in cash only for real estate.
Right. I don't believe in that at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's extreme for me. And actually, I confronted Dave. So we had him on the podcast. And I asked him.
That was a good one.
You saw the question?
That was a good one.
You liked the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to say the question.
I basically just asked, like, Dave, do you provide the financial advice that you do because you think it's good for most people, even though it isn't the best? Like, you could have this piece of advice where, yes, some debt is okay, using credit cards is fine, as long as you leverage it. And this will actually get you to where you need to be faster than the very conservative approach. Like like if we're talking numbers wise, this approach is faster. But if you want to, be conservative with your investments and you want to buy everything cash and everything, like that works for most people because most people aren't this.
Yeah.
Right. They can't control themselves like that.
What do you think I said about a few minutes ago I don't think I said it very well, so I kind of want to go back to it.
Sure.
When it comes to the emotion of risk versus the math of risk.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially my thought is if you can mathematically justify not paying off a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at, what were you at, 2.5%?
2.8.
Yeah, 2.8. Because, if you invest, it's in the S&P 500, it's going to average out a 10% return. And fun fact, 10% is higher than 2.8. So with that, don't you think then, if you are going to say things like credit cards should never happen, this is not you, but I'm just talking about the argument of it.
Yeah.
Things like credit cards should not happen because most people shouldn't use credit cards because they abuse it and then, it falls out of stock. Car debt shouldn't happen at all, or people shouldn't get low fixed rate mortgages on car and continue to invest the rest, all this other stuff. That risk tolerance that they don't have, like Dave, don't you think this is more basic human evolutionary emotions that are essentially like, we're just being stupid? Because math is able to justify it.
Right.
But we're letting our evolutionary emotions conquer math. That makes no sense. Math is reality, and then we're essentially letting our inner child say, but wham, I'm a little nervous.
I mean, you can't expect humans to always act just based off of what is logical, right?
That's why I talk about therapy and mental health. Right. I think mental health can overcome things like that. If you aren't able to comprehend risk, if you're not able to comprehend things in life, then, of course, they wouldn't be able to handle that. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know how to actually approach these things, these different mental decisions, forks in the road, things like that. And when it comes to actually managing their money and investing and taking on risk, but once you're able to fully understand them.
I agree 100%. I think like most people should be in therapy or have some sort of like remediation towards any mental anguish or whatever that is effective.
Don't you think it's mentally immature to put your emotions over math?
Mentally immature.
Yeah, because it's our evolutionary things is boiling up.
Mentally immature.
Caveman brain.
I want to break down these words right here. It's mentally. Okay, sure. Yeah. It has to do with the mental. Immature. That makes me think of like something that generally gets better as you get older. That's what I kind of like associate maturity with. So I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like caveman brain. Don't you think it's pretty caveman?
I don't think it's caveman brain. I think it's more just like it seems to me not ignorance, but like naivety, right?
Well, I think ignorance is a good word for it. They're kind of blissfully
because
ignorant.
Ignorance is knowing that there's something there, but you're ignoring it, right? A lot of people aren't ignoring it, but that's just the way that they live their life.
That's actually true.
So it's more of just it's more like naivety or like innocence, right?
What do you think about the people worshiping at the pillar of one financial advice?
If it works for them, then I'm all for it. I think nothing in life can really be said or like agreed upon in blacks and whites. Like for the most part, if you find something that if you could list out, assign a number of value to like this one set of beliefs, right? And if that number is a positive number or a negative number, as long as it's serving you and doing you well, keep doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it works for you, if you find Graham's videos to be helping you, right? And maybe they're not the best for you, but you know that it's moving you in the right direction, then I would say it's probably a good thing that you do that.
What do you think about one size fits all advice? Like I try to be person to person here.
I mean, that's what Dave Ramsey is effectively trying to do, right? And I am not a firm believer that one size fits all, but it works.
It does. It's helped a lot of people.
It's very hard to listen to Dave Ramsey and leave like after you watch one of his YouTube videos and be like, and be financially poorly impacted from it.
Sure, that's fair.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. I love the dude. I probably agree with the vast majority he says. I really struggle with baby step 1.
What is that?
$1,000.
See, I never even
for an emergency fund.
I never even watched Dave Ramsey, to be honest. This is horribly embarrassing.
Oh,
Yeah. I you know what I grew up watching? Graham Stephan.
He's nice to have on in the ear when I'm going for a walk or hike or something like that.
Yeah.
But $1,000.
No, $1,000 is for an emergency fund. That's a kind of interesting.
I've had 2 people on the show, 2 people who tried to follow his advice, saved up the $1,000 before they aggressively tried to pay off debt, and then an emergency happened. $1,000 isn't close to enough to deal with an emergency.
I wonder when he came up with that. It could be kind of dated.
It is dated. That's the thing. Dave proudly announced a couple weeks ago on the show the last time he was on that he hasn't changed in 20 years. I would never be proud of not changing in 20 years.
Yeah. Dude, that's really interesting. Yeah, I would agree 100%. If you're not changing in 20 years, there's probably something wrong.
Sorry, this is not the anti-Dave podcast.
No, I think everybody is worthy of having criticism. Like, I know 100% coming in here, showing you all this stuff, like, I am worthy of having your criticism, right? Yeah. And I think Dave as well, Graham as well, anybody, they can always be doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need a preface. I very much like Dave. Very much. Very much.
What, do your viewers really like him?
No, I don't know, but I just like him. I don't want them because I've said quite a few negative things, but it's just easier to say that versus all the things that I love all the time at the same time. Right, yeah. So that doesn't mean that I don't like him. He's obviously helped a ton of people, but come on, baby's up $1,000.
Yeah, that seems
from like the 90s or something. Maybe it made sense.
I would agree 100% with that, actually.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Your investments. Can we take a look?
Sure.
In some way?
I'm not a millionaire, in case if you're wondering.
Really?
No, I'm not a millionaire.
Actually, a little disappointed.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm
Dude,
disappointed.
do you realize? Okay, I gotta say this. Because I make good money, I have not been making good money for long.
I was gonna say, right? Let's add context to it. Can you
walk you through my income?
Walk through the income from when you started.
Sure. So I was like a busser. I was a bus boy for a few years.
Oh, we're going back
That's how I was like sustaining myself. I was probably making like 10 grand a year or something from that. And then maybe 5 to 10. And then from there, I was bussing and just starting Graham work. Graham work was paying me, I was getting $50 every week and my gas expense to drive to LA and back was $50
from
every week. From Ventura. That's where I grew up. It's a city about an hour north of LA. Yeah. So I was basically losing money when I initially started doing Graham work. That's what I refer to it as. And then I started getting paid more because I started editing and stuff like that. And like my first year of doing mostly full-time Graham work, I think he paid me about $10,000. So it's like, it was like full-time, I should say. Like, it wasn't full-time. I think it was like April to December. So $10,000 in that.
Why so little though?
I was a student. So that was just like my
like an internship.
That was like when I first started working I initially started working with him with a promise that like I was okay to do it for free. Like I wasn't even expecting to get paid. Yeah. So like I was happy just to be there and learn and provide value. I only really started making it was probably like $1,000 a month or something, kind of $1,200, $1,500 near the end, because I was editing the videos and I would get, I think it was like 15% of the ad revenue the video generated in the first 30 days. And I was editing a couple videos a week for that.
Okay.
So that's how I was making money through college. And then after that, I moved into his guest unit in his Santa Monica property. And as soon as I did that, I took over all of the editing on the Graham Stephan Show. And I was also running a mentorship group. And I was also helping him with title and thumbnail and doing all this stuff. And I was probably making about $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
That's when we emailed back and forth.
Yeah. That was when I was like in my grind phase where I was basically miserable. $3,000 to $4,000 a month, which also...
Did he know you were miserable?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't Graham's fault that I was miserable.
No.
It wasn't his fault at all. No. But I was very unhappy and I was working just like a ton. I remember this time in my life, this is so terrible. I would never see my friends. I literally disappeared off the radar of all of my friends. Like they just forgot that I existed. And I would be in bed with my laptop and I'd put my laptop, like when I'm ready to go to bed, I'd put it beside my bed and I'd wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and I'd grab my laptop and I'd put it on my lap and I'd just start working again. It was terrible. Yeah. So not a good thing. I remember I had to force myself to go get sunlight because I was like, okay, like I have to go for a walk. Like I literally need to leave the house. So like I would go for a walk, like at sundown and usually have to get back for some sort of meeting or something. And that was my life. And that year I was making $3,000 to $4,000 starting April. And then because that is when I agreed to do that work with Graham full time and drop out of college. So when I decided to drop out of college, I actually renegotiated my work terms with Graham.
College dropouts, let's go.
Let's go. And I got a new contract with a base income. So no matter what, the initial proposal, well, there was several proposals, but we landed upon $90,000. So,
whoa.
Yeah, which is
big
good.
up.
Yes. But I was also pretty academic. Like I was a very good student and I was going to UCSB studying economics. And that was a pretty big thing for me to do, is to drop out.
Oh, big risk.
Yeah. Especially since I only had 1 year left. So especially like I'd worked towards it for a very long time. I was definitely like in a more grindy phase.
What's up with college dropouts being YouTubers?
I don't know. Usually because you start making good money in college. And I wasn't at the time. I was making $3,000-$4,000 a month. Yeah. Then we renegotiated the terms. And I'm like, okay, I will drop out if we agree to these new percentages on all of these things. It was mostly always percentage based. And also a $90,000 base. And he agreed. So I dropped out. And then the first month, I think I made like, it was like $9,000. So I was like, okay, this is like over $100,000 a year.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And as soon as I was able to drop out and just like focus all of my attention on that, like we noticed a significant increase in just performance on everything.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then from there that year, I made $113,000. So in April was when we like made it like legitimate. And I think it was like, was it April or August? It was like somewhere in the middle of the year. Made it legitimate and I started making good money. And I made $113,000 that year with like $13,000 of write-offs. It was just over $100,000. I remember I went for this walk and I took a video of myself. I just made $100,000 this year. This is so crazy. I feel amazing. If I find it, I'll send it to you. It's actually quite funny. And I'm just like smiling ear to ear with knowing that the extreme cost that it took, that it costed me. That was my 21st year, so I didn't really do anything.
The return was worth it, though. Return on the investment of your cost?
Absolutely, because the next year, everything started exploding.
My plan is to never show this to anyone because it's horribly embarrassing, but I just learned that it was my first year ever making $100,000. So I just added it all up and I had no idea how much I had made this year. My guess was probably around 80,000 or 70,000, but it actually totaled up to 100. And so I decided to grab these sunglasses that I got for Christmas that have speakers in them. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And I got a bubbly water, a Soleil, and I'm going for a little walk right now just to enjoy and relax. It's a big milestone, 6 figures. So excited, and it's not only about that, it's just I just feel like it's more than just a number, it's a lifestyle. I'm kidding. No, I'm just really happy, so I'm going for a walk. That's it. Just wanted to document this moment.
And that's when I like really buckled down. I moved to Las Vegas. I grinded. And that was basically throughout the entire year. And that's
did you guys not move at the same time?
We did move at the same time. Okay. Yeah, it was just in December. So like just at the end of the year. And then that's when I made $300,000 that year, or 290, whatever it is, 298. And then I was pretty burnt out. So then I started outsourcing because I was just like, holy crap. Like my 21st and 22nd year basically like evaporated out of thin air. Like granted, I did do things. So like, don't like pity me or anything. Like I went out and I had fun and stuff like that. But when I look at everybody else, right. And especially during COVID when like no one had a job and they're just hanging out, like, like a lot of my friends got to collect on unemployment checks. I remember I had friends that were collecting unemployment that were making more than me. Yeah. And I was a full-time student and I was grinding with Graham work. That was literally at the time where I was like putting my laptop beside the bed and then waking up and putting it back on my laptop. They were making more than me. How recent? Yeah.
Yeah, because this actually, yeah.
Exactly. Hence why I don't have $1 million. Pretty far from it.
I am now cool with you not having $1 million. What's your net worth?
My net worth?
Mine's about 500 right now.
Okay. I think mine's probably around $700,000.
Wow. I'm pretty competitive too. And that right there. Yeah. Net worth is where that's one thing I'm very.
I mean, like I'm still like, I don't make stupid investments. I've never spent my money on anything like lavish. Like the most lavish like waste of money I've ever done is my Mazda Miata, and it's gone up in value.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
I want a Tesla.
I do too. Yeah. Yeah.
So you'll be upset to know, based on, or I'm curious what you think about this, based on you making up at 7 a.m. when everything was getting started and stuff like this.
I'm what?
Because you woke up at 7 a.m. and stuff. I'm curious your thoughts on this.
Uh-huh.
I get out of bed at 11.
Dude, I think that's totally. Oh, okay. Do I think that's totally fine? Not necessarily, because that probably means that you're unhealthy in some other facets of your life that are causing you to
work
wake
very
up at
late.
11. Some people function better later at night, but I also think like it's just generally a healthier thing to wake up with the sun, to be in that place. I wake up late too.
I just can't, man.
I know.
Or I can, it's just hard.
Yeah, no, I think as long as you're getting the stuff that you need to get done, and you're not messing up any relationships that you have with people, you live your life however you want to live your life. I'm not going to tell you how to live it. If you're happy and you're doing well, which it sounds like you are, kudos.
I'll start work at 1, but then I'll go to like midnight,
Yeah.
And hopefully hang out with some friends, maybe for like around the dinner time.
That's good.
Or something. But
yeah, no, I think that seems fairly balanced, at least for the grindy phase of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your retirement. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Or am I able to see things? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I did a mega backdoor Roth IRA, not last year, but the year before. So I contributed $58,000. And like I said, that's when I went all in on the market in December. Not a good idea. So it actually went down quite significantly. But I think in like my Roth IRA, I probably have $65,000, $70,000.
That's not a bad idea either, though. It's going to be good in the long term.
Right, but I could have dollar cost averaged it throughout the year, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Also depends what you're in.
See, I have to re-download my Vanguard app.
You don't want to just tell me what you're in? What are you invested in?
Yeah, sure. So I have in my Vanguard account, in my Roth IRA, it's either VT Sachs or it's VIGAX. Okay. It's one of those. It's just like, Admiral shares, the growth index funds and whatnot. And then I have, and that's probably between the two of them, $150,000, maybe $200,000. I have an M1 finance account, which I am borrowing money on. But I know. The thing is,
you were done with this.
No. Okay. Let me explain this. I know this sounds like I haven't learned my lesson, but at the same time, I'm lazy, so I don't really want to pay out the $26,000 that I borrowed. The money has gone up. It's mostly index funds. My M1 account, like it's mostly, so borrowing against that's not really an issue, especially when I have the cash or the capital to cover that if anything ever needs to happen. So I just like having it in my high yield savings account when M1's charging me a few percent and my high yield savings account's charging me 3%, right? So maybe there's like a % lost in transit there somewhere, but it's not the biggest deal. So I know it's kind of hard to explain myself.
It's your level of risk that confuses me, though.
It's hard for me to explain myself out of this, but in my twisted brain, it kind of makes sense. So, and then I have a Robinhood account, which famously now has like $4,000 in it. You can see that actually. That's going to be funny for you to look at.
4,000.
Yeah. And then I have a TD Ameritrade account with like 30,000.
Okay. Are they individual stocks?
Yeah, individual stocks. It's very conservative things. Okay. Yeah. There's my Robinhood account.
Oh my gosh. Whew, at the peak, 64,000, huh? Right about there?
Yeah.
Yikes. 70,000.
Yeah.
Well, so what did you buy?
Do you want to screen record actually?
Sure.
If you want to add some B-roll.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There you go.
What did you buy though?
Honestly, most of my losses were on Palantir. Probably lost 5 figures on that. I lost a lot of money on. I didn't lose a ton on Apple, but I lost an okay amount on Apple. Just like Tesla, like hype stocks.
Are you still in Tesla right now on anything?
I got a little bit of Tesla on my M1 account, just a little bit.
Sure, that's
maybe
fun.
a couple shares. Yeah, it's nothing too serious. Honestly, like I hardly have any individual stocks now. It's mostly just index funds. Good. So on top of that, so I think I addressed most, and then I have like a couple $100,000 in cash. My home equity.
Yeah, out of your net worth, too much of it is in cash for me.
Yeah, well, I do have my tax
your
bill.
Worth. Your tax bill's coming, and you mentioned potentially using it for property.
Yeah, I do.
Then that's chill.
Yes, I do actually intend on buying a piece of. Like I wanted to last year, but I have so many people that are telling me like, Jack, right now is not a good time to buy property. Graham and my dad. But those are two people that I very much so respect their opinion. So
sure.
And I also think. This sounds ridiculous, but like I think a good businessman would know when to listen and shut up and when to lead.
Absolutely.
And I think when it comes to buying real estate and even stocks, it's like I'm not even that great. Like I don't want people to look at me thinking that I'm some sort of like financial guru or anything. I really don't.
You're not a millionaire. Have
a bunch of prowess. I'm not a millionaire. No. I think like for me, it's mostly just like I don't want to call myself an entertainer, but like the podcast is the only thing that I feel like, keeping conversation going and whatnot is the thing that I actually bring value with, what I get paid for.
I certainly think for the United States trend in general as a concept, maybe not the best time for real estate, But depending on the markets you want to look at, especially Austin, I would not buy here now. I would not buy in Vegas. I wouldn't be buying in all the markets that were big pandemic markets. My properties in the college towns in Midwest, they've actually gone up since everything has started going down.
Interesting. I mean, prices are going just like so high. It's hard to imagine that people can continue to afford them, especially if the rates continue going up. It doesn't make any sense. So it makes you think, where can I go where the properties are actually somewhat affordable, right?
Yeah.
Where people can actually buy them and the property can appreciate, right? Because the demand would go. But who knows? Here's an interesting little tidbit of information. I am a firm believer, I don't need to hunt for the biggest real estate deal. I think at my point, it doesn't really matter. As long as I buy something that's not a catastrophe and I pay somewhat near market for it, the amount of time that I spend focusing and like, you know, deliberating over the market and whether or not I should purchase this house is kind of time wasted if it means that it's draining me energy wise and like I'm not focusing on like, you know, the podcast where I actually make money and stuff like that.
Who cares about the biggest deal? I just care about getting the best deal for the dollar amount that I'm putting in.
That's what I meant. Just like hunting for the best deal.
Oh,
yeah, like,
okay.
It doesn't necessarily matter because I should be focusing on other things.
Well, that also helps us building trusted relationships with brokers.
I do. I
areas.
have good relationships.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. With my past home residents, like I'm very cool with the lender. Like he would lend for me again, and the agent as well. Like they're all cool.
I'm looking to purchase a property right now, but with where rates are, even at my almost 800 credit score. What's your credit score?
I don't know. I have had the most tumultuous credit journey that you would have ever seen. Like people do not expect this, but for
the conversation doesn't end.
Hardcore viewers of the channel, they know that I struggle with credit. Here you go. It's 400 and I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Oh, dude.
Here you go.
You had me. 763. Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, I've done literally everything right. I've never missed a payment.
Yeah.
Not once. I've had credit since I was 18 years old. Thank you to a Stephan video that I watched when I was 18. And I have a home loan. I have tons of credit and I don't utilize that much of it. Like everything's good, but my credit just doesn't want to go up.
I mean, you know what would help? Unfortunately, an auto loan would help.
I know an auto loan would help. I know, but I don't want to buy a Tesla.
No.
I can't afford it.
Why don't you? I don't even know if this is possible. But why not go find a $4,000 car
and get a loan?
Doesn't even have to drive, and then get a $1,000 loan on it on a 10-year repayment plan.
What I could do is take out a loan on my Miata.
Okay,
do that. Yeah.
I mean,
but also
it's not going to impact you.
760 is the perfect credit range.
Yeah. So no, I mean you're great. Total accounts. Yeah, you don't have a lot of accounts. That's for sure. What are the credit limits on your card? Do you know?
Depends on the card.
What's your highest and what's your lowest?
My highest is probably like 40 grand.
Okay, cool.
My lowest is probably like, I don't even know. I don't check.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily matter to me because I have so much credit available.
No,
that
I'm just curious.
Maybe I remember the first card I ever got. It was Chase Freedom Unlimited, and my credit limit was $3,000.
Why don't you go to community college and take out a $1,000 student loan? That'll help too.
Because my community college costs $7.
Take out a $7 loan.
There we go.
Yeah. That's I think the only thing looking at here is the only thing holding you back is you do not have a diversification of lending.
Yeah.
You have some credit cards open and you have a home loan, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I think for the most part, I'm okay with that.
Are you borrowing to get your property that you want to get, or are you doing cash?
I would borrow for sure. Yeah. I mean, like the thing is I can always refinance it. It shouldn't really be a problem.
Because if you did one of those Midwest college towns with the $200,000, even after the taxes you have to pay, who knows how much that'll be?
Right.
You could come close to buying 125.
Yeah, I really could. I actually considered buying cash because part of me, like, it's just like, but it's that risk averse, like emotional thing that I just generally kind of have to like keep in check. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like I probably should get a loan on it, but who knows? Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously you're doing well. Not too much to yell at. I think
a couple things though. Like this could also be an irregular month, right? Maybe I'm a spending fanatic.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I spent $3,700 on equipment. So
yeah, but equipment for what?
With a podcast.
Return on investment.
Yeah, it was also split between Graham and I. So Graham and I,
what'd you guys buy?
We bought 3 lapel microphones or 4 lapel microphones, as well as a portable audio interface or like mixer recorder thing. Because we did a thing with the Lewis Howes. You know Lewis Howes? He's got a podcast, as well as Tom Bilyeu, who we recently had on podcast, and they both use lapel mics. And we're like, well, if they use lapel mics and we're using stand-ups, especially if we're traveling, it's a lot of extra stuff to bring. So we're going to now travel with lapel mics.
Oh, even though they don't sound as good?
They do not sound as good, but like when we travel, it's actually more space that's occupied by our audio equipment than it is our camera gear.
Your mics look pretty small compared to these, right?
They're fairly similar sizes, but the thing is, you also have to like think about like this. You have an XLR cable. We also have a preamp that you have to bring the XLR cable into, which then has to have another cable to the audio interface, which we have the same exact one, which is massive. We have 4 mics that we have to bring.
She's nice though.
Stands. It is very nice. Yeah.
I like it.
So, sometimes you have to sacrifice quality, unfortunately.
And I think the only things that maybe we slightly disagreed on, well, I wouldn't even say the $200,000 at this point, because now I know it's going towards a property. I think I was just thinking about so many things that when you even said that, like I heard it, but I didn't really hear it.
Right.
So I was like, that's too much cash and afraid to invest right now. And obviously margin terrible, but you already know that. So
the margin was dumb, and I learned a lesson from it. It did make me overly cautious, but at the same time, I could have reacted in a worse way. So I think what it all comes down to, and I tell this to everybody, I'm super blessed. I'm just very fortunate. I don't care for expensive things.
What do you think the percentage of your income is invested? Because you don't budget.
Past calendar year, 60% probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But like I'm planning on, 80%, 70%.
Do you know why I started a YouTube channel?
Because you wanted to be a YouTuber.
No. So I started in sales, and I did sales for a while. Then I went to product management. I was like, okay, this is fine. Got a little bored of the company I was working for. And I was like, and I was getting underpaid. And I was like, and the company sucked, whatever. Then I started applying for a bunch of different jobs in the product management space and the operation side of things. So I like the operation side of things. I accidentally applied to a job that I didn't even know, because I was just applied all on LinkedIn, and this dude got back to me. He was like, hey, cool. Let's do a little exercise, see if you're good. And it was on the operation side. I was like, oh, okay, what is this? Oh, his name's...
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah. We started going back and forth probably a month between every time he responded, which is fine whenever he's busy. I'm very bad at emails. You all know that, who's emailing me. And, okay, finally I get the chance to have an interview, don't hear back. And I try to follow up. I'm very persistent. I have no patience, and I'm a very persistent person. And finally he was like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's just do it, on a trial basis after we had a couple conversations. And he was like, let's meet Friday at 9 a.m. And I was like, okay. I was there Friday at 9 a.m. I sat there for 9:30, 10. And I was like, hey, we still doing this? And he was like, oh, sorry, dude, I totally forgot. Come tomorrow, 9 a.m. Went home, got there tomorrow, 9 a.m. Wasn't there at 10. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Next day, same thing, I think 3 days in a row. And then the 4th day, for some reason, I had a really bad anxiety attack. I have no idea why. But I was going in there to meet him, but I couldn't, because I just was really struggling, which is incredibly rare, but it was a really bad day. I couldn't. I was like, sorry, dude, I'm just really not feeling well. He was like, okay, then I don't think this is going to work. After ditching me for 3 days of showing up to sign paperwork, which is all we were going to do. I was like, okay, well, and now I'm really disappointed, because I actually wanted to do this YouTube thing. But, there's this YouTuber I've looked up to for a little bit. His name's Graham. You've probably heard of him. So I was like, maybe I could just... I know he doesn't really hire people, but maybe I could just try to get out there a little bit. I was like, I'm going to send Jack a DM. I understand why you didn't look at it, because now that I get a bunch of DM requests.
I didn't look at it. I didn't respond.
You didn't accept it or anything.
How long ago was it?
It would have been April, maybe May of last year.
Yeah, I couldn't have gotten into that.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And did Graham as well, knew he wouldn't see it. Did Alex. I was like, come on, Alex, you have a few thousand subscribers.
He
did not.
No way.
He did not. He did not see it. No one responded. I was like, well, how can I get in contact with these guys without being creepy? At this point, I had enough saved up where I would have worked for free, just because I just wanted to do something that gave me passion. Then I was like, how do I get in contact with these people? We're on websites. Oh, look, Alex has a one-on-one consultation that can be booked. I booked a one-on-one consultation with Alex. We had a little meeting. I actually did want more out of that. I wanted him to review my website for my music stuff, and he was very helpful with that. And then I also brought up how I might be able to bring value and, my creatives and hard worker and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, they just don't really hire right now in terms of like that. I was like, totally understand. That's fine. one more shot. What I thought would have been fun was to build a mimic of the set and do an exact video in his style, copy the voice and everything, and just show that I know the style, scripting, and right?
For Graham's videos.
For Graham's videos. So I heard the guy sitting behind you right now to help me do that video. And we started ordering equipment. But in like 2 days before, I was like, I might just, for fun, make my own stuff. Then we never filmed the Graham stuff. Then I started making this stuff. Then we randomly uploaded on June 1st, and now it's been pretty successful.
Wow.
So it's your fault.
You're welcome. Sometimes it's better not to respond to the DMs. Dude, kudos, because you're killing it. You know, you're going to do that financial audit. People will soon know you are doing well for yourself. You have earned it. It's not anything that's been given to you. You did not deserve it, but you have earned this for yourself. I'm extremely proud of you.
It wasn't even supposed to be a pat on my back. That was supposed to be a rant against you for not responding to DMs.
Well, you're welcome once again, because look at you now. You got this nice table that we have the exact same one in the iced coffee hour room, these nice microphones, and you're making 100,000 people every day happy. I want to say this little tidbit. Once again, thank you so much. And honestly, I really appreciate every single one of you who have watched this video. It means a lot. I know Caleb appreciates you guys too. And if you are a viewer of the Iced Coffee Hour or you know who I am, a sincere and honest thank you, because it really does mean the world to me. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Text your mother and father and or guardian and or people you care about that you love them. That is my note. Thank you.
Jack is obviously doing incredibly well. You know, he's going to be a millionaire before we know it. I mean, a little questions about how much money is sitting aside, but I think it was relatively justified. Spends a good amount going out to eat, but that doesn't matter. It just depends on the percentage of income and what the rest of the financial situation looks like. If it wasn't for all that cash sitting on the side, probably a 10 out of 10, but we're going to go Hammer Financial Score 9 out of 10. Make sure to check out all the fun things in the description, like my Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.